Root-5th-Root chords. Root-5th-Root chords are very common in popular music. This is what they sound like. So they're almost always played in the left hand, and usually played from bottom to top like that, rather than all together as one chord, although you can play them like that as well. Don't worry too much about what the term root-5th-root means. The main thing is that you can play these chords, so that if in another tutorial I say play a root-5th-root chord on B flat, you can just play it straight away without thinking too much. Or if I say play one on F sharp, you go like this. Now, it would help if you know what a fifth is. So if you want to learn fifths first, if you haven't already, you can follow the link just above this video and do the tutorial on fifths first. But if you just want to learn root-5th-root chords really quickly for a particular piece, you can keep on with this video. It won't make sense for a minute or so, and then the rest of it and the exercise at the end will be completely doable even if you haven't learned fifths beforehand. So if you have learned fifths, I can just say that a root-5th-root chord is a fifth played with fingers 5 and 2 in your left hand, and you just repeat the bottom note an octave up, like that. So if you can play a fifth on any note, say one on F sharp, just play the bass note up an octave as well. So if you can already play fifths, just play lots of fifths with these two fingers and repeat the bass note up an octave. So that is the quick way of learning root-5th-root chords if you know what fifths are. However, for everyone else, if you haven't learned fifths yet, here is a guide to play a root-5th-root chord on any note. While a root-5th-root chord is always 3 notes, it's always going to be played with these 3 fingers, 5, 2, and 1. So let's play one on C. So your little finger is going to play the bottom note. Then your thumb is going to play the note an octave up. So C to C. And then your second finger is going to play a note of the same color, slightly nearer the top note than the bottom. So in this case, that's going to be a G, because G is slightly nearer the top C than the bottom one. So be careful, don't play this, because then you're playing the note which is slightly nearer the bottom note. It should be nearer the top note for a root-5th-root chord. So let's do another example. Let's take E flat. So to build a root-5th-root chord on E flat, you play an E flat with your little finger, another E flat an octave up with your thumb, and then your second finger plays the note of the same color, slightly nearer the top than the bottom. So that will be B flat. And notice that I'm hitting the B flat quite far down the key. You don't want to hit the notes at the edge of the keys, that's quite tricky. And again, the middle note is slightly nearer the top than the bottom. So that would be wrong, that would be too close to the bottom. Now there are 2 exceptions. When I said that the middle note is always the same color as the bottom note, or the outer notes, that is true almost all of the time. The exceptions are B and B flat. So play these along with me as I show you them. A root-5th-root chord on B has F sharp in the middle, and a root-5th-root chord on B flat has F in the middle. So the B's are the odd ones out. That's a root-5th-root chord on B, and that's a root-5th-root chord on B flat. But apart from those 2, you can basically keep your left hand frozen in position, and once you've got one root-5th-root chord right, you can play any of the others, and it's just for B and B flat you have to change your hand position slightly. So what I want everyone to do now is go and practice those. Just play root-5th-root chords, all 3 notes at the same time like this, on random notes on the piano. Remember to include some that start on a black note, and definitely remember to include some or lots that start on B or B flat. The B's, they're the exceptions. To begin with, it would be good if you play them all 3 notes together, even though it's more common that you're going to play them like this. Because as long as you can play them really quickly, all 3 notes together, you'll then find it very easy just splitting it up into 3. So go and practice those now.